Welcome into your tiny reading for this week. I am T from Tiny Divinations, here to break down some cards with you. So, as usual, we have our three different piles. Pick the pile or piles that resonate, or and you can pick a number between 1 and 10, and I will put the numbers under the pile now. And I will see you in whatever reading you choose. Welcome in pile one. Let's get into your cards. So, the cards that you have on top are the energy for your week, and these are some specific things that may happen. So, we'll get into those a little later. The cards you have for the energy of your week are 555, change, 2424, good times, 1011, take action, and 7 7, compromise. So, starting with 555, change, growth, resilience, transformation, purpose, renewal, breakthrough, creative energy, you're about to level up. Although it may not feel easy at first, this challenge is preparing you for greater things that align with your highest good. This is the why you've been seeking. Keep pushing forward. There's a reward waiting for you at the end of this journey. So, this may be a week where some people are going through some changes or some challenges. You may have been going through some things, and this is the culmination of the things that you've been going through. We also have the take action card with that. So, part of the change may be something that you have to put in place, or something that is kind of happening where you have to do something, or be a part or like an active participant in that change. In the take action card, you have, this is your call to move forward. The sooner you take the first step, the sooner you'll achieve your goals. Embrace patience, and your perseverance will be rewarded. Seize this moment to begin a new change. You have fives, you have ones, so there's definitely something that's changing, different, starting this week, something that you either have just ended and you're looking to start that new path, or looking to see where you're about to go with it, or something where you already have like been moved up, or like things are already changing in some way, and again, it's now time for you to like keep the ball rolling, or there's something specific you have to do to keep momentum this week. Seize this moment to begin anew, aligning your actions with your true purpose and creating the life you envisioned. Okay. So, again, there's like this energy this week of things changing. There's this energy of growth. There's this energy of things being started. There's this energy of you kind of like taking the bull by the horns. There's energy for action and movement, and things for you to kind of do. We then have good times, 2424, relaxation, joy, harmony, love, kindness, happiness, support, unity. You are deserving of affection, relaxation, and joy. Open up to your family and friends about your feelings, and you'll find everyone aligned and working together harmoniously. Many people, many people are cheering for you. When you spread love, it returns to you multiplied. So there's energy in there for us to receive love, to give love this week, to have some peaceful moments, to open up to others that support us, who want to give us nurturing energy, who want to big us up. There's energy to just open up in general and like vent, or like, cry to somebody that's around you if you need that. Good times also can look like having time away from whatever you are worried about, or whatever's changing, or whatever you got to do this week, and allowing yourself to have a good time, right? Relax, enjoy, and be with friends, or a friend, or a family, or whoever, makes you feel good. The spaces that make you feel good. If it's like, for some people, it feels like there might be a space that you go to. You might not know all of the people that are there, or anybody that's there, but like you like the energy in that space. You know what I mean? So that may be also where you want to go, to just be able to bring yourself back, or to take a break, or to like align with the energies of like love and harmony and goodness that you will need this week. It feels like we need infusions of goodness this week. Like there's energy for us to like need to come back to this as a home base. as well as this card, the 7-7, as a home base, in terms of um, release no what excuse me, release what no longer serves you, and let go of grudges. Openly express your emotions and seek compromise. So again, we're having the openly expressing ourselves, opening up to family and friends, asking for help, energy of asking to be able to vent or to receive comfort or to receive guidance, and allowing yourself to be open to, whatever comes from that as well. When understanding is lacking, it's best to move forward, embrace the truth, and it will set you free. Okay, as I started reading the bottom part of that, I just started getting this pain in my forehead. That happened yesterday when I was doing a reading for someone, where I got a pain. So if there's some shit this week that is giving you headaches, whether that's literal or figurative, like, we have to figure out a way to cut it out, or to recognize how we need to move around the situation if we can't cut it out. Because it's like, for some people it's actually like taking you down, or and again, that could be physically, that could be mentally, it could be emotionally, but it feels like for some people, I just got that pain, and it's like either slowly, or like there are moments when it just takes you down, you know what I mean? And so we need to cut that shit. We definitely need to cut that shit. Self-awareness, forgiveness, empathy, professionalism, resilience, freedom. Okay, so within that freedom, like I said, there's the things that we need to cut that no longer serve us, so that we can get free from them, so that we can feel better, so that we can feel more aligned, which goes back into that good times card and the change that may need to happen. We have forgiveness in some people's situations. There's what's weighing on you, or what needs to be released, is you holding on to things, is you being so consumed with like what was, or like what could have been, or something like that, that again, it's like this card, even though it says compromise, there's this energy of it just like taking you down. Like, it just feels like there are things in some cases that are taking us down, right? Seven is a card of spirituality, and you know when we aren't in our spiritual selves, we aren't sitting in our spiritual selves, then we're like out of alignment, right? And so that's part of what it feels like comes in with this card. We have the professionalism and the resilience. For whatever reason, that makes me think of like, keep it cute at work. Okay, keep it cute at work this week. And there, I'm cutting shit down right now outside, so I apologize, but that's what comes up. Compromise, make the changes. Don't let people get you. Don't let the things that try to take you down take you down. You know what I mean? Take action in the ways that you need to, and then align in the ways that you need to get you back right when things are looking weird this week, or when you just need a break. So that's what I'm getting from these cards. Let me see if there's anything else in terms of the energy, and I'm gonna see if this person is gonna cut the grass somewhere else. Hold on. Okay, real quick, on the bottom, we had readjustments, overcoming obstacles, soulmates, romance, affection, support, comfort, renewal, reconnection. So again, we have the reconnection, we have comfort, we have renewal. Okay, your self control is strong enough to set things right. A new romantic or platonic relationship is on the horizon, along with the opportunity to reconnect and start anew with someone from your past. Trust that everything will fall into place, and embrace these positive changes. Okay. And again, we had the double number like we did before. So let's just see if there's anything else. 888, karma, balance, prosperity, success, wealth, cycles, cause, and effect. And then we had cycles. I feel like one of the other cards talked about cycles. Anyway, abundance is on the way, and it extends beyond just financial wealth. This is a reminder that true fortune encompasses all aspects of life. If you don't appreciate those around you today, there may not be a tomorrow. Take responsibility for your actions and use this awareness to unlock your greatest potential. So that's the second thing that we had that talked about like setting something right. Where did that go? Trust that everything will fall into place. No. There was something. All right, let's see if there's anything else in terms of the energy of your week. One, 4, 4, 1. Unique skills: life goals, purpose, mystery, integrity, career growth. We had professionalism over here. Ambition, focus, important projects. This is a time of intense self development. Focus on redefining your craft. You already have everything you need to succeed, but consistent practice will make you a true master. Use this time to align with your purpose and level up in your career or business. It's time to prioritize growth and achievement. So, again, we had something to do with professionalism and career growth. So, like something to do with your employment, your career, what you're doing at work. It also talked about things being busy, and you may need to focus on your craft, refining something, specific skills. But, like, again, we're doing something, we're being actionable, we're prioritizing ourselves. Okay. So yeah, this is what I'm getting. The card on the bottom is perseverance. So there's definitely a change happening. We definitely need to be amiable and be directive and intentional about doing the things that we need to do this week, so that we are working with the energies and the changes, right? We also need to make sure that we're keeping ourselves in good spirits or doing things that allow us to blow off steam or have happiness. We're leaning on the support of the people that are around us. And like I said, we're getting rid of the shit that is giving us headaches or like trying to take us down. So that's what I'm getting from the energy of this week. Let's move into some cards about some specific things that may happen this week. Okay, so getting into some specific things that may happen this week, these cards were under your top cards in your pile. We have distance, divorce, ghost, separation. We have isolation, rejected, left alone, self inflicted. And then we have burned bridges, lack of trust, disloyal, turned back on. So I want to get some clarifiers for these, but just from the beginning, it definitely looks like specifically like there may be people that may be withdrawn. You may be within yourself. You may be not taking phone calls or seeing people or talking to people or getting outside of your house. Okay. And that may be why you got those cards before about the energy of opening up. There's energy to commune, there's energy to open up, there's energy to like get out of your shell and get the hugs and the nurturing and the laughter and the feel good feelings that you want to feel, because you may be feeling rejected, left alone. So it may be self-inflicted in terms of you separating yourself and not receiving the love that people want to give you. Okay. We then have distance, divorce, ghost, and separation, and both of these things is like, again, separation, removed. And so there's something that is definitely being taken, removed, um, cut off, stopped, this week. You have burned bridges as well, lack of trust, loyalty, disloyal, turned back on. So it may be a specific relationship that, ends or goes in a way where, people separate or aren't talking to each other. And I don't mean just romantic relationships. It could be familial, it could be work related, because we had that in a lot of the cards in the energy. So it could be somebody either getting fired or moved to a different position, or in the monthly reading, I talked about people possibly getting demoted. If you haven't listened to that, definitely go listen to that. Substack, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Tiny Musings with T is the podcast. But yeah, so we definitely talked about that. So that could be part of what happens this week. Like I said, it could definitely be somebody feeling isolated and or isolating themselves. It could also be people wanting to separate themselves from a situation, like you may have felt isolated long enough in terms of other people making you feel pushed out and you just want to end it. And or it may be a situation where you're recognizing that you need a separation or for things to end. And or it could be that like there was something that specifically happened that made you separate yourself, or want to get the fuck out of there, so let's see. Well, okay. All right. So for some people, this is very specifically um, a relationship, like a actual divorce, an actual breakup, an actual big fight that may happen this week. Um, there's also the energy of, like I said, there's people who have been um, feeling this way that are now finally kind of just like gonna put the nail in the coffin in a sense. Um, so yeah, let's see what else we got. Okay, in terms of specifics with this divorce, ghosted separation, distance card, it feels like specifically people may definitely get into fights. Like people may definitely get into arguments, get into fights. There may be some shit that just goes awry. It may be people trying to be too overbearing or um like like jockey their position, or people trying to like throw their power or their weight around or some shit like that, and that shit leads to like power struggles or fights, or like it's inherently like people are on very different sides of um something that like people feel like you shouldn't be, you know what I mean? Like it feels I don't know how to explain it. It feels like if I was saying something and the other person on the side would be like, that is so fucking dumb, because obviously it's this thing, and it would be like inherent to both of us on the very opposite sides of things. So that could be a thing. It feels like some people are fighting for, like I said, control, but it's because some people want to control other people. It's not even a matter of like, I want to be in control, I want to be in control. It's a matter of somebody trying to control somebody fucking else, you know what I mean? Also, it feels like there could be fights because people are sick of being beaten down by somebody, or people are sick of being talked to a certain way, or people are sick of being treated a certain way. And that may also be a part of why I'm like, I'm just fucking done with this shit. Like, I'm ready to go. You know what I mean? Like, I'm gonna separate myself, or I'm actually gonna fucking be done with this. But like, all in all, I'm trying to be done with this. You know what I mean? Because we have the burned bridges and things. So it's just like, and this also feels like, and or for some people it feels like part of this argument or the issues come in this week because somebody is always helping somebody else and not receiving it back. Like it feels unequal, like this person always needs something and I don't get the same in return, or I can't count on them the same, or whatever it is, and then just feeling like I'm over that shit, you know, like I'm over it. So yeah, that's definitely what I'm getting from that. um Let's see what else we got going on in terms of specific things that may happen. Child, running, escape, denial, excuses. Yeah, we're trying to get away from some shit. People are trying maybe to get away with some shit, and they are for sure not gonna get away with it. This is not the week. This is not. It doesn't. It doesn't look promising. I mean, it looks like you could wind up hurting someone, right? Or somebody could wind up hurting somebody, but it's not gonna stick, or like it's not like you would get away with it. I don't know how to better explain that. So if that's something you're thinking about or something, don't do it. Anyway, let's see what else is going on this week. And as I was saying, that the card on the bottom was wishful thinking, shattered, broken, nightmares, failures. What is going on, you guys? Something is ending, something is changing, something is going away, somebody's gonna fuck something up in terms of like saying the wrong thing, or conversations, or like trying to like put, like I said, push their power, or ego, like completely trying to take over and like being the authority of some shit you are not, or like saying just like the wrong ass thing to somebody and them just being like, you know what, I'm fucking done. Like, it's so interesting. Epiphany, self-reflection, unanswered questions, untapped talents. Epiphanies, like revelations. Is there anything else that is not related to this thing that y'all want to talk about? Emotion, worries, fear. This looks like an interesting week, y'all. Let's see if there's anything else. And I would love to know what happens. Twofold. I will say things fall apart. Things fall apart. Sometimes you have no control over what happens. And you have to recognize that, and you have to move in kind, move through your emotions, but like move in the space and the place, knowing that you will get to the other side, you'll be taken care of. Okay. Um, literally, like it was like going from not having to having it all. But you got to be able to move through the phase of it. And that may look like people not being able to go with you. That may look like revelations and tests of seeing like how are you going to handle this situation, and da 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 type shit in terms of the universe testing you. um but it feels like this week is there's going to be some trying things that may happen this week. You definitely need to have that energy of being able to bring in the good times and the laughs, and being able to move through the emotions that you're feeling. Try not to react before you reflect. Try not to react before you respond. um you know do the things that you can to help yourself through this week, to get through the things that may be trying, and also give yourself grace, give others grace. Okay. And again, try not to isolate yourself. If you have the ability to be around supportive people, then do that. Okay. So this is what I'm getting from the specific things. Let's end your reading with some self-care for this week. Let's end your reading with some words of wisdom for this week. All right, so our words of wisdom come from our Power of Surrender deck. Surrender to divine timing. Sometimes divine timing may differ from your ego's timing. If a goal isn't manifesting fast enough according to your ego, be patient and trust the universal flow. And we talked about that. And then we got all of these. So I'm going to go with these two. Surrender to your intuition. Tune in to your inner voice. Be aware of any gut feelings, flashes, knowings, or aha moments that come through to guide you. And then surrender negative thinking. You have control over your thoughts. When negative thoughts surface, say, "Thank you for sharing," and quickly refocus on positive affirmations. So I think those talk about everything that we talked about in the reading. These are your words of wisdom. And this was your reading, Pile One. So thank you so much for reading with me. I appreciate y'all so much. If you'd like your own personal reading, book with me at wildheartbotanica.com. Please tell me how your week is, how these resonate, what reflects. If you haven't already, follow us here on YouTube. Follow the podcast, Tiny Musings with T, on Apple. Let's do this again. So these were your words of wisdom, Pile One, and this was your reading. So thank you so much for reading with me. I appreciate y'all so much. Please let me know how your week is. Please let me know what resonates. If you'd like your own personal reading, book with me at wildheartbotanica.com. If you aren't already following us here, follow the channel. Subscribe to Tiny Musings with T, the podcast, so you can hear the April part 1 and part 2 collective reading and all of the monthly collective readings. If you aren't already following me on TikTok or Instagram, follow me there. So thank you again for reading with me. If you have another pile, I will see you there. If not, I will see you in our next reading. Welcome in, Pile 2. Let's get into your reading for this week. So the first cards that we have are your energy for the week. And then we have your specifics for the week, but we'll get back into those. So the cards we have for your energy of the week is 2323, Endless Cycles, 0440, Gut Feeling, and 2002, The Void. Endless Cycles. You may find yourself repeatedly resisting certain truths, leading to feelings of exhaustion and limitation. It's time to decide to live authentically for yourself, embracing your passion. By making this change, the world around you will begin to follow suit, breaking the cycle and fostering transformation. Then we have the gut feeling, intuition, integrity, relationships, value, insight, perception, love, commitment. Trust your intuition. It's more than just a feeling. Be genuine with others and prioritize meaningful relationships. Remember to bring value to each interaction. Treat others with respect, as your actions will return to you in kind. Be mindful of boundaries, as too many voices can cloud your journey. And then the void. You have more control over your life than you realize. Pursue your interests and take action to transform your circumstances. Things will improve with time. You'll have plenty of opportunity to make new friends. So relax, have fun, and open up. Step outside and embrace the world around you. Okay, so there's a couple different things that we have that are alike in some of these cards, right? We have relationships a number of times. We talk about friendships and relationship. There's love, there's joy, um, and then we talk about intuition. Okay, so there's energy around this week. Number one, to be able to be mindful of things that are happening, right? So paying attention, trusting your intuition, trusting the feelings that you're getting, being mindful of how you feel, how others are feeling, how other people make you feel, how certain situations make you feel. If you're getting any downloads when you are in a place or talking to a person, when you are doing a certain thing, if you get like, messages or clairs or gut feelings, those are things to pay attention to. Move based on what you feel, think, and hear, not necessarily what you and your ego want to do, right? And that will help a lot of things in terms of your interactions this week. Also, in terms of your interactions, being mindful of other people, being kind, being one of the things I heard recently is clarity is kindness. Okay, so sometimes being clear about something, clarifying something is better than us just responding or snapping or reacting to something that we could have communicated better. Okay, so there's energy around that this week. There's also energy around self awareness and recognizing when something has run its course, or when something is taxing you, or when something that you're doing is leading to results that you don't want, but you keep doing it. You know what I mean? Like recognizing where you need to pivot or change or remove or move in different ways, right? Recognizing where we may be reflecting the same cycles over and over, and sitting with like how we can move through and change that, right? Which takes me to the void. You have more control over your life than you realize, right? Like you have the control, you have the ability to say what is and what isn't, to remove, to bring in, to change circumstances. And a lot of that has to do with like what we're willing to do in some cases, and also like how much we're paying attention to what the universe is showing and providing for us, and moving in kind so that we can be in alignment with the opportunities, or so that we can be primed and being, move in the places of being prepped for the things that are coming later. Things will improve in time. You have plenty of opportunity to make new friends. So that also suggests to me that like where they talked about being mindful of your interactions with other people, there may be some people that get into arguments or issues with people. You may have issues with people this week where you're not seeing eye to eye or not getting along. Or if you are somebody who was in the first pile, you may have relationship endings, or situations where people separate or things like that may come up this week. So be mindful of that too. But there's energy, like I said, around heavy energy around relationships and our relationships with other people. There's heavy energy around owning what you're doing and what you want to do next, and like where you want to go, and recognizing that you have more autonomy over your life than you may realize. And that looks like being able to look at yourself and your life and reflect on what you need to do and what you don't need to do, and like what needs to change and what needs to be implemented and things like that. Okay, so this is what I'm getting from these cards. Let's get a few more cards to see if there's anything else in terms of the energies. 1144, high vibes, divine blessings, abundance, grand opportunities, synchronicity, faith, life purpose, soul's calling. Love, joy, and happiness are just around the corner. So again, we have something just around the corner. So there's not things necessarily going to be popping off this week, or, you know, things coming to a finality or completion this week. It looks like it's coming. Okay. What's coming is beyond anything you've imagined, a rare opportunity or an exciting encounter with like-minded souls. So again, we're bringing back in that partnership energy. So it feels like if you are somebody who is losing relationships right now, that you will be able to find other relationships that are like better aligned, or with people that are like more in tune with you, or more into what you're into right as of right now, than you were with the people that the relationships have broken off with, you know, if that makes sense. But also just in general, it gives an energy of this week being a high time for our friendships and our relationships, and like really being with people that are supportive or like-minded. Let's see if there's anything else. 1818. Achievement, success, progress, prosperity, ambition, courage, fortune. Significant events are on the horizon. So again, there's something coming. It feels like it's not necessarily coming this week. It may come towards the end of this week. We have the ones and the twos, and then the fours and the eights, which are like derivatives of two. So it's like it could be in two weeks or 2 days. Like it feels like it could be in like 2 days or 2 weeks, or a month or 2 months or something. Like it's coming, and it doesn't feel like it's going to be that long from now, right? Even with the eights, it's like feeling like 2 months, or like a month, like 2.5 months or something, like, you know what I mean? But like something is coming, something is changing. Again, it's success and it's progress within your hands, within your gain, within your decision, right? But like there's all this energy around what's coming. So like I said, if things are ending, if things have shifted, it's okay. Recognize what is coming and what is beneficial for you. Sit in the autonomy and the authority that you have, and recognize where you want to take that and where your passions want you to take that. Okay. And then definitely sit into your intuition and your clairs this week, and move in kind. Okay. So that is what I'm getting in terms of the energy for this week. Let's move into some specific things that may happen. Okay, so getting into some specific things that may happen for you this week, the cards you have are boundaries, disrespectful, enough is enough, defend yourself, puzzled, confused, perplexed, conflicted. Then we have suffering and silence, unspoken desires, real feelings, broken dreams, excuse me, and Archangel Michael. Protection, prevented from harm, divine intervention. So I am going to get some clarifiers for these, but just off the top, some of the specific things that may happen this week. There may be things that are confusing to you. There may be people who push you in certain directions. There may be situations that are chaotic or confusing. It may force you to have to enforce your boundaries. You may have people that override your boundaries. It may be confusing, and you may not know who you can tell this to. Or it may be things where something happens, and again, you don't know why it happened, but you don't, either there's nobody that you can tell, or you don't know who to tell, or you don't necessarily trust anybody in order for you to feel like you can speak your piece. You know what I mean? We have Archangel Michael. So there may be someone within what you're doing that can actually help you, that would be like a righteous figure, and or somebody that's in a very high position of power, and or it feels like this is a situation that you kind of like need to pray on, or ask for like divine help in. Okay, so like let's get a few more cards to see like what are we talking about. Okay. Okay, so in terms of the boundaries, I feel like this week there are people who are feeling like you've been sitting with the like some of the emotions or the upset that you've been feeling, and you're ready to kind of turn things around, or you're ready to put your foot down. It's very similar to what we had in pile one in some regards. But it feels like you're ready to like kind of confront things, right? And so part of the reason that we get the boundaries, some of the specific things that may happen are you confronting people for how they've been treating you, vice versa, people confronting you for how you've been treating them, people enforcing their boundaries, people explaining how you have misinterpreted or moved in, like the goalposts in a sense, or like moved past their boundaries. People trying to right situations that were taken out of control. People kind of like facing shit head on that they may not have faced before, in terms of things that were more confrontational or things that were um, like more, what am I trying to say? Not necessarily just confrontational, but things that were a little bit more touchy, or like, you know what I mean? Um, yeah, yeah, yeah. There are people also that this week, some of what you're doing is like taking assessment of the things that have happened and recognizing like the ways in which you've been taken advantage of, or the ways in which you've been hurt or disrespected, or the ways in which people are, um, taking your kindness for weakness, or like, you know using you in ways that you're not down with, you know what I mean? But it may be that we're being able to see it in a different way now, or being able to see it in a way where we're looking more about thinking more about ourselves than the other person or the situation, or um thinking more outside of ourselves. Like we were thinking more about ourselves, and like how we then want to um implement whatever it is that we've been thinking about in order to like course correct for ourselves, if that makes sense. Okay. um let's get into puzzled. Okay, the Nine of Cups reversed. Let me see. Okay. In terms of the puzzled this week specifically, some people may be confused about what what you want and how to get it. You may be confused about how what you want and how to get it. You may be confused about how to change things in order to get what you want. Like, so for example, you may have already recognized that like I need to curb my spending habits, right? But you may not know exactly how you can do that, or you may not know how you're supposed to get yourself to not buy the cute thing that you see when you want to buy it. You know what I mean? And that's just like a slight example. But like that feels like part of it. It feels like people are unsure of how to get themselves over the hump in terms of needing to moderate their ideas, or needing to moderate their habits, or needing to like temper their thoughts or something like that. You know what I mean? It's like um people are having a hard time this week, or people may be confused, or part of the conflict is being able to know how to get to the other side of it, right? To like how to get myself emotionally to the place where I can actionably do something about the thing, right? Like that may be part of what specifically comes up this week. Let me see if there's anything else to that. And then within that, it may specifically have to do, because then again, it's this nine. It's like there's something about you getting over the hump. It's something about you getting over the hump, and it may have to do specifically with like money, with your finances, with your money, with what you have, with how you save, with how you invest, with how you are financially literate and, or financially responsible. It just feels like you're having a hard time getting over the hump with something, whether that's getting something done or emotionally getting to the other side of something. And it may specifically have to do with your money, and or how you temper or moderate your habits to get to long-term gains or to get to like a stable position. Okay. Then we have suffering and silence, and I feel like all of these things that we're talking about could be part of why you have these real feelings that you're feeling and you're going through. But let me just see. Yeah, I'm not getting anything specific. Let's see. 4 of Wands. So the 4 of Wands, and then we have the Hermit card. So yeah, I feel like part of the suffering has to do with um you not knowing where to go foundationally or structurally or in terms of how to um have like the lifestyle you want or to have the stability that you want. And like a lot of this is all within the same categories, you know, like it's like a lot of the same thing in a different font. And so it feels like a lot of the things that you're thinking about or going through this week are very much related. And we have that protection, prevention from harm, divine intervention, you know. So I think that part of the energy for this week and the specific things specifically, because that's where we are right now, excuse me, is that you need to pray on some of this shit. Like some of this is above you, and it needs to be um, something that you ask for divine intervention or help for, because you really just don't know where to go or what to do, and you need help. And so some of it is asking for help so that you can be pointed in the right direction, or that like things can be cleared outside of you so that you then know where to go. Okay, so I hope that this makes sense. Please let me know if y'all have more questions. um I don't think there's anything else, but let's just see if there's anything else specifically for our week. I don't have anything coming out. As soon as I say that, I get trapped. Stuck, no options, unforgiveness. So it's the same thing I was just saying. We've already kind of talked about this. Um, let's wrap this up and get you some words of wisdom so we can get a little bit of direction. Okay, so we're going to use our Power of Surrender cards to get some advice for pile 2. So we have surrender outdated beliefs about yourself. Let go of limiting ideas about yourself that originate from the past. Then you can own your power and soar in your life. Surrender the idea you can fix someone. It's time for a relationship to shift. It doesn't work to try to fix someone. Each person must be accountable for his or her own healing. And then on the bottom, you have surrender to the magic of who you are. We all have magic in us, even in the mundane aspects of life. Remember that you are a magical being with a uniqueness and worth that comes from just being you. So these are your words of wisdom, y'all. I hope that they make a lot of sense. I hope that everything that we got this week is really validating and is very clear and brings you some clarity, brings you some insight, or brings you validation, depending on when you watch this. If you have any questions, y'all let me know. But this was your reading, pile 2. So again, thank you so much for reading with me. Let me know how your week is. If you'd like your own reading, book with me at wildheartbotanica.com. If you aren't already following the channel, follow me here. Follow our podcast, Tiny Musings with T, on Apple Podcasts, on Substack, on Spotify, or anywhere you listen to podcasts. If you aren't already following me on TikTok or Instagram, follow me at Tiny Divinations. If you have another pile, I will see you there. If not, I will see you in our next reading. Welcome in pile 3. Let's get into your cards. So the cards we have on top are the energy of your week. And then we have some specific things that we'll get into later. So the first card you have is 5555, clarity. Transformation, change, opportunity, momentum, process, success, adaptability, achievement. You are not a victim of circumstance. You are a beneficiary enriching your life experience. By embracing and adapting to change, you're setting yourself up for long term success. Trust that everything is unfolding for the best. You are achieving your goals and everything will work out perfectly in the end. Blessing in disguise. 4444. Obstacles, resilience, strength, character, experience, transformation. Challenges may lie ahead, but you have the strength to overcome them. Challenges may lie ahead, but you have the strength to overcome them. If you felt lost, know that the winds of change are now blowing in your favor. Though some things may fall apart, you're building the foundation for something better. Stay strong and keep moving forward. And then you have persistence. Enthusiasm, gratitude, fulfillment, transformation, new experiences. A wonderful opportunity aligned with your life's purpose is approaching. When it arises, take immediate action to embrace it. Additionally, a loving partnership or epic romance may be on the horizon. Maintain your persistence and welcome the positive transformations coming your way. Okay, so with these cards, we definitely have some things within the energy that can be more negative or dampening. There may definitely be some things that happen this week that kind of take us off our square or our like it said obstacles, or some things unfold where it seems like things aren't going in your favor, or it feels like you're unsure why things are happening, or it may be something that seems like a loss. But very much like the card says, it's a blessing in disguise, right? You are not a victim of your circumstance. These things are happening to you for a reason. And it's in most cases to move you to adapt to the change that's happening, right? To set you up for, like it says, the long-term success, to align you with the opportunities, to align you with something that's more in alignment with your life's purpose than maybe your ego's drive, right? And so part of that is a part of this week. Within the things that we have that are negative, we also have the idea that, like, again, something wonderful is coming. And it's said that multiple times. So you're not just going through these things for no reason. And also, it feels like there are, like, if something negative happens, then there's going to be something positive that happens right after, even before like the pivot and the change of the larger thing in your life. It feels like you'll have the immediate like positive, um like the yin and yang of it, right? You might have the negative, but then you feels like you'll immediately have something positive happen, or you'll have a good experience, or you have like a little bit of luck somewhere in this week. So it feels like both of the energies. We have the persistence. So again, regardless of what happens, you need to keep going. Make sure that you are reminding yourself that you are strong enough to get through whatever's happening, that is happening to you, for your highest and best good. See if you can find the lessons in it. See if you can become more adaptable this week, or be more flexible this week with the things that are happening, because there's change, because we have things being removed or maneuvered differently for our favor. We also had the energy of romance within the cards that we had this week. So some people may have love within this week. They may be dealing with love and partnerships or romantic relationships. You may be going on dates this week. You may meet somebody that you really like this week, or recognize that you really like somebody this week. So that's part of it. You have the quadruples of the fives and the fours. So there's a lot of energy of change and transformation, and things may be happening outside of what we can, control. And then with the fours, there is a heavy emphasis on the root, right? Your foundations, your stability, your success, the things that you're building, your own, like it said, character, and the person that you're becoming, and the culmination of all of these two things popping up in different ways this week. Okay. And sorry, I lost my train of thought. But yes, this is what I'm getting from these cards. Let's get a few more cards and see if there's anything else in terms of the energy for our week this week. It doesn't feel like it. Nothing's coming. Oh, every time I say that, y'all, it just, they be like, haha. All right, let's see. We'll take this. 0606, commitment. And we already had persistence, right? So commitment and persistence. We're sticking to the things that we're doing. Loyalty, responsibility, truth, love, light, spiritual growth, solutions. Living with honesty and light every day is a powerful way to cultivate a peaceful and meaningful life. And again, we're moving towards our life's purpose. So a lot of what is coming up or what's happening is a part of leading a more meaningful life, leading a more peaceful life, not just doing things that we feel like we have to do or things that really aren't fulfilling to us. By embracing truth, you unlock solutions and comfort. Let go of worries by expressing your emotions authentically and regularly. Open your heart to the future because the best outcome is yet to come. So again, part of what has the energy is here to do this week is to help us recognize like where we're making commitments to things that we don't want to commit to, where we aren't making commitment things that we actually do want to commit to, where we are not kind of opening our hearts to the biggest and best things that could happen in the future. Okay. What that could look like if you did. Okay. And then 1441, unique skills, life goals, purpose, mastery, integrity, career growth, ambition, focus, important projects. This is a time for intense self-development. Focus on redefining your craft. You already have everything you need to succeed, but consistent practice will make you a true master. Use this time to align with your purpose and level up in your career or business. It's time to prioritize growth and achievement. So again, we're aligning with our life's purpose. We're aligning with the things we want to do, but we're staying consistent with that, right? We're doing the things that we need to either gain more knowledge, gain more skills, continue to hone in our skills or our craft, to recognize again where we are and if that's where we want to be or if we need to go somewhere else, if that shit aligns with what we ultimately want to do, if it's fulfilling, if it feels like in the long run it is in alignment, and if it's not, figuring out what that looks like, right? So these are the energies that I'm getting in terms of our week. Let's transition into some specific things that may happen. Okay, so getting into the specific things that may happen, these cards were under the cards you had on top. We have salty, bitter, angry, petty. Nightlife, striptease, gamble, Vegas, hopeless, loss, depression, suicide. Thrills, continuous cycles, bad decisions, addictions. Okay, so specific things that may happen this week based on these cards. These are really heavy cards, number one. There may be people who, let's start here, okay? There may be people who are having negative feelings. There may be people who are feeling, like it says, lost and depressed. If you are somebody who is dealing with self-harm, please go talk to someone. Please get the help that you need. Please call suicide prevention. Please seek out help. Okay. I just want to put that out there because we did get this card. So I do not want to dismiss that people aren't feeling this way. Okay. There may be somebody or somebody's who is, and you are not alone. You are loved and you deserve to live. Okay. So again, please reach out for actual professional help. Okay. Outside of that, there are people who may be feeling down. Because we have the thrills, continuous cycles, and depression, this may be people who deal with depression. They may be people who deal with anxiety. You may be somebody who deals with addiction. You may be somebody who has issues with like emotional regulation and things like that. And so these are cycles that you may go through throughout your life, right? And so just being mindful or validating that this may be a time where you're going through something, emotionally, psychologically, mentally, especially something that you have gone through before or may go through cycles of. Okay, so for those of us that are on like psychotropic medications, or people who um, deal in terms of going and making sure you're going to therapy regularly and things like that, we may want to, up our therapy sessions this week. We may want to make sure we have our medication, that we're taking the right dosage, that we're staying up on these things this week to make sure that we can stay in the right headspace, to make sure that we're helping ourselves, to make sure that we're being as healthy and as cautious as possible. Okay, if you are somebody who deals with addiction, again, getting the help that you need, talking to somebody, recognizing that this is a pattern and a cycle. For some people, it is a genetic pattern. So it's outside of yourself. It's not something that you can just, stop by yourself, because it's something that was happening before you, in a sense, right? So again, getting the help that you need for possible addictions as well. There is a way that, like, it feels like, I said in one of the other piles, there's this energy of just being taken down, right? And part of this feels like there are people that can be kind of, in a way, self-sabotaging this week. In a way, because we have the nightlife, it feels like we could be numbing out, we could be disassociating. So those are some of the things that come up with these cards together. And then the reasoning behind all of this may be, like I said, for other than the people that are dealing with specific things, it may be resentments, it may be things that we are upset or angry about that are then manifesting in these other ways. Okay, so we want to be careful of acting out. We want to be careful of self-sabotaging. We want to be careful of not recognizing the signs when we're going through struggles, and we need to reach out for help, especially professional help. Okay, be mindful of overspending, be mindful of gambling, be mindful of partying too much, be mindful of and this is for you or other people around you this week, right? Be mindful of how you speak to people, be mindful of holding on to things, be mindful of your resentments, be mindful of how other people may be feeling towards you. Okay, so these are all things that come up with the specifics for me. Let me see what else is coming up for us. Okay, let's see what else is coming up. Narcissist, egotistical, opportunist, fragile. Okay, so being mindful again of our egos, of other people's egos, of people being opportunistic, of people trying to get in where they fit in over top of somebody else, of people being abusive or controlling, or you know um I'm trying to think of, like, cunning, but like in a con way. You know what I mean? Like, is kind of what I was thinking. um and again, that's within you or somebody else. Let's see if there's anything else. That's, okay. Two-Face, possibilities, follow your dreams, make up your mind, believe in yourself. So double life, cheater, backstabber. So again, we have the narcissistic. We have be mindful, salty, bitter, angry. There may be people that are mad at you for something, or have been holding on to something, or resentful of something, that may then try to act on that. There may be people that are lying this week, so pay attention to that. Pay attention to people's actions and their motives and what they say and what they don't say. You have possibilities, follow your dreams, make up your mind, believe in yourself. So like the other cards we're talking about, there's definitely something coming. There's some kind of opportunity that's going to be available to you. For some people, there is a ability to, like, make a choice that was really beneficial to you, or something that you might want, or something that helps you open things up or follow your dreams. Under that, you have daydreams, head in the cloud, delusions, hopes, and dreams. So again, I feel like there's this something specific that's going to happen this week that will either show you that something is possible, or give you a glimmer of what's to come, or allow you to like see that you're moving closer to what you want. Let's see if there's anything else. Recharge, breathe, let go, clear your mind. Because this seems like a heavy week, because it feels like there may be a number of different things that happen, definitely take a break, right? Meditate, breathe, let go. Try not to hold on to things. Like I said before, try to be adaptable and flexible. Try to meditate when you're able to, and go by bodies of water, just get outside to cleanse yourself of energies and feelings and negativities going on throughout this week. Um, and get some sleep, you know? So, yeah, this is what I'm getting in terms of the specific things that may happen. Let's wrap your reading up with some words of wisdom. Okay, y'all. So, getting into some words of wisdom for this week from our Power to Surrender deck. Okay. Surrender the drama. No matter how emotionally charged the situation, remain calm and don't contribute to the drama. Stay centered. Staying centered will help resolve the issue more quickly. Okay. Surrender the drama as much as you can this week. Don't feed into anything. Don't pick up no shit that's not yours. Anything else? Okay. Surrender worry. Make a commitment not to lead an anxiety-driven life. When worries arise, breathe them out, like we talked about just in that last card, of your body. Focus on the power of your heart and have faith that spirit is guiding you always. And then we have surrender your addictions. Whether you're addicted to substances, food, people, sex, or overworking, take action to begin to heal the addictions and replace it with healthier alternatives. So these are your words of wisdom, pile 3. And this was your reading for the week. So thank you so much for reading with me. Please let me know how your week is. Please let me know how this resonates and what makes sense. If you'd like your own personal reading, book with me at wildheartbotanica.com. If you're not already following the channel, follow me here. Follow our podcast, Tiny Musings with Tea, so that you can get all of our monthly collective readings. April Part 1 and 2 is out right now. Follow me on TikTok and Instagram at Tiny Divinations. And if you have another pile, I will see you there. If not, I will see you in our next reading.